Today, inshallah, we're going to be discussing a particular verse, and actually there's more than one of them in the Quran which make these kinds of references, but we'll focus on one because the same thing that can be said of this verse can be said of all of the other ones which have similar phraseologies. And this is a verse in chapter number 55 of the Quran, verses 19 to 21, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, مَرَجَ الْبَحْرَيْنِ يَلْتَقِيَانِ بَيْنَهُمَا بَرْزَخٌ لَا يَبْغِيَانِ, that He let free the two seas of water, and He put between them a barrier that you cannot transgress between. Now, I recently saw, and I saw this before, a long time ago, a video of Richard Dawkins. Richard Dawkins actually going to a school with some Muslim students, some young students, and this is a common tactic. You go for the weak ones, the untrained ones.
Look who is talking. Are you the trained one? So why you hang up on me, potato? The one who don't even say the word inshallah and never did. Huh? Mr. Trained one, you are the trained one? Are you the trained one? Okay, answer about the two C's. Let us laugh together.
The students that they're not theologians, they're not learned, they still actually even haven't finished their GCSEs, and this is the kind of engagements that Richard Dawkins and the rest of the New Atheist movement are used to doing with the Muslims. You get some weak one and you try and brainwash them into your worldview. And he was talking to these little girls or these young girls, and he was trying to persuade them that really that the Quran was wrong. He wasn't saying it in any explicit type of way, but he was being very pedantic. Maybe we can get a clip of this video and see what he's doing here.
Good choice.
We learned about science and the Quran. By the end of the day, we all came to one conclusion, that the Quran is evidence of science. So what science has proved to be just recently is already proved in the Quran 1400 years ago when it was written.
But that doesn't include evolution, apparently.
No, it doesn't.
So what does it include?
It includes stuff like the shape of the earth, about the mountains, how they secure the earth,
and how
look at this ninja.
They don't mix the salty water and the drinking water, so it's pure for us to drink. They don't mix, but they pass through each other.
Salty water and fresh water don't mix in the sea.
No, it's like
the natural barrier.
I was shocked that RE elbows out science like this.
As you saw, this man was badgering the kids. He doesn't want to go to trained theologians, Muslim theologians, or...
But here you see the stupid Mimi Hijab, he forgot that this is what you Muslim teach your kids, and she is the one who mentioned that to him, is not the opposite. It's your kid. She said to him what she heard from scumbag like you, that there's a verse in the Quran saying that the salty water and fresh water don't mix. The guy, he said to them, go to the kitchen, get a cup of salty water and a cup of a fresh water, put them together, let us see if they will mix. So it's you stupid people who like your kids, make them go in the street, say the nonsense, and when the nonsense you made come back to you, you accusing him that he is going after the weak. She was 6 years old, or she was the same girl who called me and she said that Jesus, he played with his mother boobs, and you said, did you say that to her, suckle me? You remember? Your sister was a whore and she is older than your mom, and you claim that she is a teenage. Continue. So he's targeting the weak. What happened? Now you are the strong, fix it. Does the Quran says Allah did not mix the two waters? Yes or no? Which obviously a very clear scientific mistake.
Or public figures or whatever it may be, he's going for the children. And really he's arguing that this is false in the Quran. If the idea is that you have these, the sweet water, the fresh water and the salty water, that there is a barrier between no such barrier exists. He says you can go to the kitchen. Yes, you can put the sweet, you can put these two waters together and mix them and disprove the Quran. This is such a weak and lazy approach. Don't you want to research what this verse is talking about in the first place? Because if you just went to even an English translation of the exegesis of such verses, you don't realize that the prominent or the most popular exegetical opinion on this was that the barrier in question were the land masses that were separating seas from rivers. For example, the Arabian Peninsula. For example, other land masses that separate these things. So on the one side of this land mass, you have maybe a sea, and the other side, you have a river, and within the land, you have a river flowing. This is what is being referred to here. That God...
This is what is referred to here. So you Muslims all those years, how come you did not make videos to exposing the liars, including Lili Dawa, who mentioned this thing, that this is what the Quran is saying, not what you are saying? Why you did not correct your friends in the speaker corners or Zakir Nayyuk? As long the Quran is not speaking about the two waters, not mixing, but there's a physical barrier. So why you Muslims in your videos all over the internet, you say the opposite?
In the subject of oceanology, there's a verse in the Quran, in Surah Furqan, chapter number 25, verse number 53, which says that it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has let free two bodies of flowing water, one sweet and palatable, and the other salty and bitter. Though they meet, they do not mix. There is a barrier which is forbidden to be trespassed. The same message is repeated in Surah Rahman, chapter number 55, verse number 19. Maraj al-Bahrain yaltaqiyan, that He has let free two bodies of flowing water. Though they meet, they do not mix. There is a barrier, there is a barzakh, which is forbidden to be trespassed. When the commentators of the Quran, when they try to understand this verse, all of us know very well, and we knew it earlier also, that there are two types of water, sweet and salty. But they could not understand the verse of the Quran, which says that there are two types of water, sweet and salty. Though they meet, they do not mix. There is a barrier which is forbidden to be trespassed. There is a barzakh. The Mufassirin, the commentators could not understand what did it mean. Today, after science have advanced, we have come to know that whenever one type of water flows into the other type of water, sweet water flows into the salty water, it loses its constituents and gets homogenized into the water it flows. This transitional homogenizing area, according to the Quran, is called as the barzakh. It is an unseen barrier.
See? So, one of them he says, no, this is what the Quran meant. The other one says, no. This is Darkwind, Richard Darkwind, he is lying. This is not what the Quran is saying. If you go to the Quran, in 2 seconds you will find that this is not really what it says. In fact, Muhammad Hijab is saying the truth. But because now we debunked them already. But they were going with this lie for years and years, and they post videos everywhere, including Lili Dawa herself, that the Quran says there's two bodies of water, they don't mix. And now Lili Dawa, Mimi Hijab, saying, no, this is not true. This is what the Quran is saying. In fact, if this guy, Richard, he go to the Quran, he will find in 2 seconds that this is not about two water are not mixing because after touching each other. There's a physical barrier between them, which is a land. But look what Muhammad Hijab now he did. According to the stupid Quran and Muhammad Hijab, salty water and fresh water still they will never mix. Let me play the video again of what he said so we can laugh.
Today, inshallah, we're going to be talking about a contention which is really a feeble and weak contention, which, like many of those, is really lazy academics at its best. It's the contention that says that the Quran mentions sperm, but it does not mention...
Oh, hold on. We skipped by mistake. What happened? Here we go.
Today, inshallah, we're going to be discussing a particular verse, and actually,
Let us skip a little bit.
and he was, talking to these little girls or these young girls, and he was trying to persuade them that
I want you to focus with me in what Muhammad Hijab will say, which is going to prove seriously that the Quran is a fabricated, stupid book. I want those who copy my videos to play this part again and again, because he will say something very important. Listen carefully what he will say. What he said destroy Islam. Now, and I challenge any Muslim to say, no, he did not. Listen carefully what he will say.
really he was that the Quran was wrong. He wasn't saying it in any explicit type of way, but he was being very pedantic. Maybe we can get a clip of this video and see what he's doing here.
We learn about science and the Quran. By the end of the day, we all came to one conclusion, that the Quran is evidence of science. What science has proved to be just recently is already proved in the Quran 1400 years ago when it was written.
But that doesn't include evolution, apparently.
No, it doesn't,
So what does it include?
it includes stuff like the shape of the earth, about the mountains, how they secure the earth.
And how in the sea, the two waters, they don't mix, the salty water and the drinking water, so it's pure for us to drink. They don't mix, but they pass through each other.
Salty water and fresh water don't mix in the sea.
No, it's like
It's a
they
natural barrier.
I was shocked that RE elbows out science like this.
Now, as you saw, this man was badgering the kids. He doesn't want to go to trained theologians, Muslim theologians, or
Please record this. He will tell us now what the Quran is saying, the truth about the Quran, a disaster from the mouth of Mimi Hijab.
public figures or whatever it may be. He's going for the children. And really, he's arguing that this is false in the Quran. If the idea is that you have these, the sweet water, the fresh water, and the salty water, that there is a barrier between no such barrier exists. He says you can go to the kitchen. Yes, you can put the sweet, you can put these two waters together and mix them and disprove the Quran. This is such a weak and lazy approach. Don't you want to research what this verse is talking about in the first place?
Tell us.
Because if you
Tell us. In the minute 19:53 seconds. Tell us.
just went to even an English translation of the exegesis of such verses, you don't realize that the prominent or the most popular exegetical opinion on this was that the barrier in question were the land masses that were separating seas from rivers. For example, the Arabian Peninsula. For example, other land masses that separate these things. So on the one side of this land mass, you have maybe a sea, and the other side, you have a river, and within the land, you have a river flowing. This is what is being referred to here. That God, in His greatness, is able to allow such different types of waters to exist within the sphere of the earth. And this is, what's wrong with that? What's so unscientific about that?
Guys, what is so unscientific about that? Allah, He did not allow the river and the ocean to mix. But isn't it every river almost ending in the ocean? Your stupid Quran says they will never mix. What's wrong with that? So according to your stupid Quran, there is an ocean of sweet water. It's called sea, Bahr. And there is an ocean or sea of salty water, and they will never, ever, ever transgress. So the stupid God of Islam saying that He created salty water alone and fresh water alone, and He separated them totally, and they never touch each other. The stupid Zakir Naik, he says that the one who made the interpretation, they did not understand, but science today understand. That's false, because science does not say that water don't mix. They mix. If there's two bodies of water it doesn't matter what difference between them, still they will mix. If you see two colors, that's because there is a current of water coming from both sides. But they are mixed every second. If we have two faucets, one even have ink, it's not even water. And one have water, totally different structures. And we open the two faucets in the sink. Do they mix? They mix. But the water which is coming right now from the faucet is not mixed yet. It needs to go down in the body of the water and they will mix. But the Quran saying that those two body of water, they never mix. And the stupid Zakir Naik, when he said that, because he don't speak Arabic and he's a liar as the rest of them, the word in Arabic, barzakh. Barzakh mean land. Dry land. So the stupid Zakir Naik, when he said, at that time, brother Sitter, at that time, there was the color and the sand. But now science explained, you stupid idiot. It's the Arabic clear. It is barzakh. Barzakh is a word meaning dry land. Not just a barrier. It means specifically a dry land. So if we go right now in front of your eyes, chapter 55. Verse number 20. And this is Ibn Kathir. What is the word barzakh? Dry. Dry land. Do you see it? Meaning, he placed a barrier. He placed what? A barrier between them. What kind of a barrier it is? It is a dry land. Can you find more stupid book than the Quran? Do you see how they lie? He prevent them from meeting by the dividing barrier he placed between them to separate them. The two seas are fresh, salty water, fresh and salty water. So what the Quran confirm that those they will never meet. The stupid author of the Quran do not know that in fact the fresh water we have is coming from the salty water. It's just a cycle of rain. The major body of water in this earth is not the fresh water, it's the opposite, it's the salty water. The salty water vibrate as a steam by the sun, by the heat, go up to the sky have a cloud, the cloud move pushed by the air. The cloud give us rain. This is what the rivers are coming from. So what do you mean they don't mix? If we go right now and check every map for the Amazon River, for the Nile River, for all the big great rivers, you will find that all of them, they end in the sea. So when the Quran says they never mixed, it's a big stupid mistake. And now Mimi Hijab, he confirmed that the Quran is made by an idiot, because he just said, all what you need to do, go to the Quran and you will see he's talking about the land. They will not mix because there's a dry land between them. But still there's a mistake. And this is exposed all the lies posted by Muslims. If you go right now search on YouTube about the two seas don't mix, miracle of the Quran, you will find endless number of videos. So they spread lies about their religion in order to fool people, to convert them. They target the ignorant. He was saying that this guy, Richard Dawkins, he is targeting the weak. Well, should you ask yourself, who is the one who taught those weak that the water, salty water and fresh water don't mix? It's you. It's your Quran. Who is a Muslim agree with Muhammad Hijab that water of the salt water, the ocean, fresh water don't mix? Anyone? This is a very clear mistake in the Quran, and Mimi Hijab just confirmed it.
Such a weak and lazy approach. Don't you want to research what this verse is talking about in the first place? Because if you just went to even an English translation of the exegesis of such verses, you don't realize that the prominent or the most popular exegetical opinion on this was that the barrier in question were the land masses that were separating seas from rivers. For example, the Arabian Peninsula. For example, other land masses that separate these things. So on the one side of this land mass, you have maybe a sea, and the other side, you have a river, and within the land, you have a river flowing. This is what is being referred to here.
But he will not read carefully the verse. Why don't put the verse on the screen? The verse says it clearly, they will never transpass. In fact, there's a mistake in Arabic. Why? Because in Arabic it says يَلْتَقِيَانِ, they meet. You see the word يَلْتَقِيَانِ? يَلْتَقِيَانِ mean they meet.
Meet.
You see it? So how there is a land between them and they meet? What kind of Arabic this Arabic is? If we have a barrier between them and that barrier is a land, the second verse saying, then the word here, يَلْتَقِيَانِ, which means meeting, is a stupid word. Muhammad, he just used it because it fit with the tone. يَبْغِيَانِ, يَلْتَقِيَانِ, تُكَذِّبَانِ, الْمُرْجَانِ. You will see Muhammad here trying his best to add an to the end of the letters or the words, to make it like a, rap song. And this is why the meaning is messed up. How they are meeting, but yet they are not meeting. How it says meeting. Do you see even the Muslim translation? He said, if Richard Dawkins, even he go to the Islamic translation, any translation, he will find right away the truth. It says here they meet. But the verse after it says, between them there is a barrier, a barzakh, a dry land. So how they are meeting, but they are not meeting? Who is the stupid here? And why you don't explain how the fresh water and the salty water never transgress? If we open right now the map, shall we? You will find that every river in the world ends in the sea. It doesn't matter how big, how small. What do you mean they don't mix? Do they mix or they don't? They do. This is the Nile River coming from the heart of Africa. Where the Nile River goes? All the way to the Mediterranean. Every river around you. This is the river of Dajla and Euphrates. Where they end? In the sea. Look at any river, you will find its end in the sea. This potato, he did not explain the mistake in the Quran. He just tried to refute the guy laughing at the Quran, saying if we put salty water and fresh water in a cup, they will mix right away, which is true. But the Quran confirmed that those two water, and the Quran called them sea, they never mix. Any Muhammadan would like to join us? Or you Muhammadan are ashamed of the stupidity of your book? And here you see that you cannot trust a Muslim saying or making a video about his book. So now it turned, after all those years, making videos about the two body of the Allahu Akbar, brother, miracle in the Quran. Look, the two seas are not mixing. It turned to be a lie. All of it. That's why I made my books, you know, Quran and Science in Depth. You will find how we refute them easy. The word barzakh is a word mean dry land. It's not just a barrier. It's specifically a dry land. Not only a land, it have to be dry, which means it's not covered by water. So with the stupid Quran claiming that Allah, He made a favor for us, He made a sea, all of it is a fresh sea, not river. You see, what He lied to us too, He did not mention that the Quran using the word sea. I can let it go, says, well, in the old days maybe, because if a body of water is too big, they call it sea. No problem. But it's still here, it's making them equal. The two seas, the one is salty and the one is a fresh, they never mix. Any Muhammadan would like to join us?